Hey gaming fans, so today I'm looking at something a little bit different. This is a dice slash card game. It's Dungeon Dice Monsters, which was from Yu-Gi-Oh! Really interesting that this came out at when it did. In fact, I remember watching the cartoon, and the rules were slightly different, but I still thought it was pretty cool. Like there was even a Game Boy game, which I still like to every once in a while play. But I remember picking these up at the store. This is still a sealed one. I didn't open it. I picked two of these things up, and I only opened up one. So I thought I'd just, kind of take a look at it, because it's really cool. I mean, you get all the little, your counters and the little figurines and stuff, and the cards. So I thought, let's take a look. I'm going to keep this sealed, so I'm not going to open it, but I do have an open one, so we can look at the stuff that it came with. So first, it did give you some cardboard cutout stuff. These are little tokens you can pop out of the back there. Just pop it out. You got your Monster Lord tokens. I guess just to save money, they decided to do like cardboard. And they did give you this interesting tracker, which it's got the symbols on there. Unfortunately, it's not in color. Like it's all black there, so it's really hard to see. But it's got your magic symbols and your defense and all that, and the move crests, or I guess they call them all crests. And you would kind of use this kind of like an abacus, like those old abacus things, to kind of keep track of your what dice you've already rolled and what you're keeping in your dice pool. And of course, we also got the dice. These are just a few examples. So you got move crests, shield. I think is the defense. Your summon crests, so you could summon. So based on the number is the kind of level you could summon. It was actually a while since I've actually learned how to play this game. I looked around, I couldn't find my instruction manual, so I'd probably have to Google it or whatever, but I do remember you have to pick like 3 dice, you have to roll them, and you save up your crests and stuff. So it's kind of fun. Like the Game Boy version, I think it plays very similar to how this would have played out. And of course I got everything in baggies here in Ziplocs. I'll just dump that out. This is the play mat that you get as well. That was the one gripe I had about this. It was a paper play mat, and it's really kind of like, you could see how it folds up and stuff. So when you have your pieces on the board, they kind of fall over and stuff when you're trying to move them. But yeah, so you got your little guys, like there's Strike Ninja. I believe that's who it is. Really cool. Nice painted artwork and stuff, and it actually tells you on the bottom. Oh yeah, see, Strike Ninja. If you can see that, Strike Ninja. So you got. And who's this guy? Thunderball. That's pretty cool. I think that's is that Buster Blader? Buster Blader. Really good guy. Vorse Raider, I recognize that. So they did use a lot from the card game as well, and then they made up a bunch of figures. Twin-headed dragon. That's pretty cool. And yeah, so you would pretty much set this up. I remember pulling this guy. This is the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I don't know if there's like a rarity on these things. I think there is like a rarity scale, just like with the card game. You would actually buy these in a box, a little box. I thought I kept one, but I'm not sure. It would be a box, and it's kind of like getting a booster pack, and you get like the figure and the card, or a couple figures and cards. This is the machine. What's that? That's a slot machine. Okay. Yeah, and so yeah, you would set up your little figures. There's your what do they call that? Your Monster Lord. So you got a plastic one. So they do give you some cardboard cutouts, but you also get a plastic Monster Lord. And this just sits at, if you've ever played this game, you'd be familiar, but it sits here, and essentially you're building a dungeon path to get to your dungeon, to your opponent's dungeon master. That's like a chest. You open it up. It's kind of like, it's got something in there. It tells you what the card is that it represents. And of course we have the cards, which I'm going to pull out here. Where are they? Where to put the cards? Oh, there they are. And the same one as the dungeon paths. See, these are the dungeon paths. Again, in the cartoon and in the Game Boy, the dice opens up and creates the pathway. but for the board game, they give you these pre-cut out shapes that you have to use, which, you know, using the base set, it's okay because they give you just enough to build the small little dungeon path. But if you were going to play like a full-on game, you'd probably need a whole bunch of these things. So you got to be careful with that. And we got the cards. So we got Darkfire Dragon. So it kind of tells you the level of the monster. You correspond that with the token. I think that's this guy. So that Darkfire Dragon. So that would be this guy. So you'd have your card on the side. It tells you his stats and how he moves and what crests it takes. So it says I think that's a spell crest, the little lightning bolt. This monster gains flying ability, and what you got there? Twin-headed dragon, 0. When you summon this monster, add 1 crest of any kind to your crest counter. So that's pretty cool. And there's a whole bunch. Uraby Girfried the Iron Knight. So he's got I think traps or something. This effect only works when your monster lord gets attacked. Sacrifice this monster during your turn, and the monster lord won't receive any damage till the end of turn. And then 3, without spending a defense crest, this monster can defend itself. And it does have hit points, attack points, and defense points, which is a little bit different than playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, you know, you got 3 stats now. So you got to pay attention to what damage it does, how much it can take, and, you know, how much defense it has. We got the Thunderball. I think we saw that guy over there. So we got the Thunderball. Blue Eyes White Dragon. He's obviously huge, but he's a level 4, so he's a lot harder to summon because you need to get that level 4 summon crest. And Slot Machine. Monster Lord. This is you. This doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits there and represents you. There's the Strike Ninja effect. Buster Blader. I don't know, I could go over a lot more in detail, but it's you know, without knowing the full rules of the game, it might not make sense to a lot of people. But like I said, it's probably, you could probably just Google the instructions. I don't seem to have mine handy on me right now. But the premise is you would roll your dice, then you'd build your dungeon path, and your monsters go on your path, and your opponent's dungeon path would be here. So you connect them together on the grid, and that's how you'd play. And the object of the game was to get your piece from one side to your opponent's monster lord and attack him 3 times, and then you win the game. So all while doing that, you're stopping your opponent's monsters from reaching yours. So it's sort of like a chess game in a sense, a little similar, except it uses these dice. Pretty cool. The cartoon was neat. There was like, I think, four episodes of it, and the Game Boy one is not too bad. It does take a long time to play. I noticed the Game Boy version, because it starts off really slow. It doesn't give you very many resources. But other than that, I mean, this is pretty cool. And they kind of discontinued it, unfortunately. So these things are quite rare now. If you find them, you're lucky, I guess. I haven't looked on eBay what they're worth, but I'm assuming something like this is probably going for quite a bit of money nowadays. I don't remember what I paid, but I'm sure it's worth a lot more than what I paid. Anyways, yeah, this was just me looking at my Dungeon Dice Monsters. Because, you know, it's kind of a shame. I don't even know if I've ever actually played this with a friend. You know, I just never pulled it out to play it. I've always just played the card game. You know, I tried a few games by myself while I was collecting the characters. But, yeah, it's too bad. Because they could have gone a lot with this. They could have done a lot of different things and perhaps made a better board. Almost like a playmat would have been cool. You know, and these things. And I think even in Japan, there was one that was made where the dice actually does open up into a pathway that you want. Because you're technically supposed to be able to choose what kind of path you want to create. Anyways, hope you liked the video. This was just me, again, showing off Dungeon Dice Monsters. It's a fun game. I still play it on the Game Boy every once in a while. And, you know, too bad it just didn't catch on. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.